Hey guys, this is Susan with Pack Leader Dog Training. I'm here with the lovely Rachel with Rachel Kohler Dog Training. And we're here for a weekly Q&A. Sorry we missed last week, but we're here ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like it's been longer than just missing 1 week.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since we did it, but it still feels like
2 years?
Did I have dogs when we did it last time? No, I wouldn't have. I don't think.
I don't know.
No. It would have been Callie, Riker, and Jack, so.
Yeah, I can't remember them being there during a Q&A. No, yeah, I think you had them all out on place. You turned the computer around and showed everybody.
Oh, yeah, I had everybody.
You had someone place and someone down?
Yeah.
And that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what are you up to, Susan? What's new in your world?
I have Mr. Francis as a board and train. He just got here yesterday. He's fallen asleep on place. So super cute. God. Yeah.
So just for anyone who missed that, Francis got here yesterday. And he's currently asleep on place. Very slowly.
Can you see him?
Keep going and then tilt it down a bit. Oh, look at him, so cute. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So for anybody like me who's a loser and didn't get to watch his intro video today or his first day, I'm busy. Get later. Can you tell us about it for those of us who missed it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks better in the video. Anyway.
Just a brief, tell us a little bit about him.
He's been here since yesterday, about 10. His issues are jumping on people. If the owner really wants him to never jump on anybody again, never eat dog poop again, and just have respect for everybody in the household. So have a basic understanding of all the commands. He wants to be able to take him into his office, and so he needs to have a solid place over anything else. Lay would be cool too, but place is just easier because he has 3 dog beds in his house. We worked on naming all of the commands yesterday, and we completed that task. So he is on a verbal for everything as of last night, about midnight. And then today we started moving him over to the e-collar. So he's on e-collar for place, sit, and here.
Place, sit, and here. Wow. That is truly impressive work you do, Susan. Just so you know.
Say nice things to me.
Yeah, I have to be nice because you have company, so I can't be mean to you while you have somebody with you.
Why not? You do it if she's watching the live.
I feel like it's different. I don't know. No, it's okay. I'll be mean to you later. I'm just warming up because it's been a while since we've had a Q&A.
We have to make people think you like me.
Yeah, I don't want them to think I'm really mean and then not watch. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Get to know me and then find out that I'm mean.
So what are you up to?
I am,
too.
Do what?
You had your first day of school yesterday too.
Yes, first day of school. I had 6 dogs start my hands-off training program. So it was quite the day of lessons. But it was really nice. Overall, everybody had a super awesome day. I worked on sit, down, and place with everybody. Not everybody got to naming for all of the commands. And some dogs got all commands named. Emily says, hey ladies, how are y'all doing?
Fantastic. How are you? I've noticed every time you post something that you do, I notice it. They all look awesome. I love all your crafty things, especially the
stove covers.
Yeah.
Yes, those are really cute. I think those are one of her best sellers too.
Yeah, I believe it.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, my sister has her own chalk crafting business. So you can check her out on Instagram at crafting.emilykohler. But yeah, those stove covers are really cute.
You're just being nice to everybody today.
I don't know. Something's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels unnatural to be this kind. No, let me stop, guys. I'm not mean. I just pick on the people I love.
Wait till we stop the live.
I only show the good stuff. No, let me stop. No, I just pick on the people I love. Y'all know that. What was I telling you though? Oh yes, I was talking about dogs, Susan. Oh, Emily comments. Emily says, "Oh, thank you. Yes, I've been busy with them."
That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing what you love. Assuming you love it.
But all my dogs, it's the cool thing about having a bunch of dogs is it really what's the word? I don't know that grounds me is the right word, but it really just like puts into perspective and reminds me how unique each dog is. Because and we have our training process. We have our we have our 7 steps that we go through with each dog. Cool. Dogs are individuals. So when I have these 6 dogs and
What's your 7th step? Oh, naming? Do you include naming?
yeah, lure, leash, pressure, name.
Okay.
And then the 4 e-collar stages.
Okay.
Doris says, I am not mean. Thank you, Doris. She knows I'm just playing.
You have not seen this woman off camera and away from clients. She can be mean. Just last
It's
night,
all out of love.
Just last night, she called me annoying. Mean? No, annoying. Weird, and something else.
Okay, no, I am funny. You're just misinterpreting it. No, because Susan said, no, she said, no. She said, do you want to know what's annoying? And I was like, you? How do you not respond with you when somebody says that to you? Mm-hmm. Doris says I'm not mean, and she's met me in real life, so she knows. I can't deal with y'all. I'm gonna just leave. We're 7 minutes in. I think we're good. I'm trying to be serious.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Your steps.
She says we're hilarious. Thank you. That was our goal when we started this Q&A. We were like, I really hope people watch this and they just like laugh. Like we're gonna talk about dog training, but we wanted people to just like have a good time. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to just keep picking on me because you're actually being mean to me, or should we talk about
what? Oh my god!
You put me on the spot on our live about my funny jokes that I say to you.
You agreed to these live. Anything can
reluctantly, happen. Very reluctantly, I agreed to these lives.
That's true. That was true. You recorded them for long enough.
I know. It was so nice because I would have just chopped this whole 7 minutes off and we would have been very professional. But then Doris wouldn't have said we were funny, so
that's true.
Good, we're live, I guess.
So your 6 dogs went through the 7 stages with 3 commands.
Yep. No, we didn't go through all 7. But the point is that we have these steps that we go through, right? And when I approach a dog, it's cool. We're going to do lure, leash, pressure, name for sit, down, and place. Not every dog is going to be chill with having me come into their house. They don't know me. And they're not all going to want to do these 3 commands on day 1. So that was my goal going in. But that didn't happen for everybody. So I had, one dog that I only named place with. I had some dogs where I named all of the things, but they needed help still, right? They needed a little bit of leash help. And then I don't know what this dog's thing is. He got them all. He sit down, place, lure, leash, pressure, name, no problem. I was adding distractions on day 1. So it really it just puts everything into perspective, how individual every single dog is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be really cool because I've never had this many dogs at once. And I could be stressed about it, or I could be excited about the fact that I'm going to see all of them progress at very different times.
Yep. And I think we need to make it known that Rachel is only at the person's house for an hour, 3 times a week, for 6 weeks. We've done the math several times.
I want to keep checking the math because it feels like it's not right. I feel like I shouldn't say it out loud right now how many hours that is because it doesn't feel like that's right. Oh my God.
18 hours? Come on.
Yes.
That's insane.
It is really insane. It's insane in the sense of why am I doing this?
And really beat the dogs, right?
Do what?
You must use a lot of force and beat them.
Yeah.
They don't listen.
That's my goal. I want to beat my dogs. And if I was somebody, I would say, oh my God, the haters are going to take a clip of me saying that. No, shut up. No.
Heather's trying real hard not to say nothing over there.
I mean, Heather, you're welcome. We're just having a party today. But yeah, no, it's all teaching pressure, going back to the kennel I trained at before I started doing my own thing. The way they trained using the tools as just correctional devices, you wouldn't, I mean, no matter how long they train their dogs, you wouldn't get the same results that we do. But because we have such a process of, I'm going to teach you what this word means, then I'm going to teach you what this pressure means and how to turn it off. And I'm going to do that for every command with the prong collar and the e-collar. And then I'm going to proof you hundreds of times. Like, I don't know where I was going with this, but it's the process, and that's why it works in this time. It can be a little stressful in this time frame. What happens?
Just crazy.
Are you again? You have a dog holding a PlayStation that's been in your house for what? A little over 24 hours? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is crazy, actually. Because earlier today, we voice memo each other back and forth. Who texts anymore, really?
Honestly.
And, yeah. So I was voice memoing her, and I was saying, yeah, I moved him to e-collar for recall. Oh yeah, recall.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
And I couldn't get him to not be near me. Like, we all know the struggle, right? So I was like, okay, well, I shouldn't maybe do this, but I'm going to talk. Well, I put food on the floor and I let him eat it all. And then once he was like finished chewing, I recalled him. But of course he's like, sure thing, because he's done eating, so why not? But the point is, I was trying to get corrections in so that he can understand what the e-collar pressure. So I need him to not come to me when I call him, so I can say no and use the e-collar. So yeah, good that he came to me, but like, can you not come to me? So I put him on the floor. He's eating, and I recalled him, and he didn't listen. So I was like, no. Did pressure. He didn't care about the pressure. Helped him out with the leash. Then he came to me. We did that like 5 or 6 more times, and every time he needed leash pressure, and I was like, well, I guess this is too difficult for him. Like, he would still come to me, but like, he wasn't. What?
I want to interrupt you. When you say pressure, what does that mean? Are you just correcting the heck out of him with the leash and like hitting him at 100 on the e-collar?
So his working level is a 6.
Okay.
So I said no, and I held the e-collar on a 6, and he still kept eating. So I used the leash, and I was guiding him to me. So I didn't do like a leash pop or anything. I just like kind of guided him over. Then he turned his head. When he turned his head to me, I was like, good job. And then he came to me and sat. So it was just that every time, like 5 times. So I was like, okay, I guess this is too hard for him. I should dial it back. But when we approached the food, I was like, break, and I tossed the food on the floor. And he was like, no, I don't really want to eat that. And I was like, oh, so you are getting it. Excellent. So I let him eat on the floor for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't think it was a setup. And then as he's eating, I recalled him, and he came right off the food. And I was like, oh, my God. And then Rachel's like, Susan, this is day 2, and you're recalling him off of food? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like, that is insane, Susan. Like, not bashing anybody. There are trainers out there, though, who couldn't ever recall a dog off of food. And different training things, the dog's going to be like, cool, positive only. I'm going to finish eating this food. Then maybe I'll come back to you, right? Mm-hmm. You got a dog recalling off of food on freaking day 1 or 2 or something ridiculous.
And it's like, because I just read the post to Rachel like yesterday about this one positive only trainer that he's bashing like e-collars, and how when owners say, or when trainers say put the pressure on, they mean shock the dog with electricity. And I'm like, false, because it's not. But it's a stimulation, right? It stimulates the muscle. So it's not like I'm like, yeah, I could get him to recall off of food if I leash blocked him off of it.
Right.
I have to leash block him. Like, I'm talking to him at low levels. That's the point, is to teach him this pressure is low, and you have full control over it. So I'm not like yanking and cranking him.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just grabbed my e-collar because I was like, not shocking dogs. Okay. Yes. And the other thing I'm going to add into what you're talking about, so you're talking about said trainer who I almost said his name, was like, oh my God, pressure, shocking dogs. Another comment on this thing, he said, they just put on pressure and leave it there and hope the dog figures out how to turn it off. Like, no. So what we do is there is a phase of e-collar training where we apply pressure without saying anything at a very low working level. So the lowest amount of pressure that you can feel. I'm going to apply that pressure. When you do the behavior I'm looking for, the pressure turns off. Here's the catch though. I'm not going to take a dog out of the kennel, walk into the middle of the room and be like, I want this dog to lie down, and then not say anything and put on pressure. There's a system. Before we do all of that, I'm going to teach you how to down. I'm going to make sure you can down on the verbal. Can you down on leash when I say down without a problem? Great. Then I'm going to take you out for this session. Then we're going to practice down or lay, whatever. Then we're going to practice down 15 times. Do you know that we're working on down? That maybe you're going to offer me a down? Then I'm going to put on pressure. It doesn't hurt you. You don't care about this pressure. You can barely feel it. You know we're working on down. So you offer down. Pressure turned off. And I got some treats. That was cool. So then you feel that pressure and you offer a behavior. Pressure turns off and you get a food reward. Super awesome. Like and like, it's crazy to me. Like, we're teaching the dogs what this pressure means. And I think that's like the key in our training, whereas it's not just a correction, you know, like it is, but
well, yeah, like we taught them to care about it. So they're more sensitive to lower levels.
Oh girl, that too.
Yeah. So if you took a dog and just use it for punishment, you would, unless you have a really sensitive dog that just shuts down, they would need higher levels or still do the thing. So the one dog I trained, Hank, his owner.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Doris says they just want to learn. They do. Most of them, they just want to go.
They feel so much better when they don't have to worry about everything. Like we're teaching them, don't worry about it, I got it. And they're like, oh,
Right.
thank God. Like if I just got to lay at home and eat sometimes and like go outside and I didn't have to worry about anything, I'd be happy too. You just tell me when to eat, sleep, and play. I don't have to worry about bills or nothing. Or like the scary person outside. Oh, but Hank, they just used the e-collar for punishing, which not owner bashing. They just thought like, well, this will stop him from jumping because it is uncomfortable when you get to higher levels. So they used the e-collar, not the one I use, but a different one. And they used the highest level to get him to stop jumping, and it didn't work. But by the time he left my house, he wasn't higher than a 15 for punishers. It's just all relevance, you know.
Right.
Care about it.
And since we're diving into the more like, not sciencey, but the more like trainer side of things, I was listening to this podcast on my way up to your house. So it was a 3-hour podcast, so it worked. And one of the things the dude was griping about, he was complaining about e-collar training and conditioning the way we do. And he said, well, if the dog gets so used to feeling the pressure at this low level, they won't care about it. So then he says, you're going to have to then correct higher. I have trained both ways. I used to train that the e-collar was only a correction. You only felt it. No, don't do that. Or no, you didn't do disobedient command. Here's a correction. And now I train where I'm using low levels and teaching you to turn it off, right? So at the last place, right? So this dude's whole argument was if the dog feels the pressure at low levels throughout their life, that's going to water down the e-collar and they're going to need a higher level for them to care about it. But if you just correct them, you can correct them lower. Well, what I found in my experience is when you just use the e-collar to correct, you have to go higher and higher and higher because the dog doesn't understand where that correction is coming from. They don't care because it's just a fact of life. Now, I guess I just randomly get corrected. And like you said, they just become desensitized to it. Whereas with what we do, we are teaching the dog what this pressure means. So yeah, they don't care about that level 4, but we're teaching them on that level 4. So at my last job,
you have to care because if you don't turn that pressure off, that's mildly like, I'm gonna come in and make you lay down with the leash. So like there's a consequence, and so they're like, okay, like I should really care about the 4 because, you know,
it's not gonna stop until you know. So like at my last place, not last place, but the kennel I started at, their dogs would start on about a 7 to 8, maybe 7, no, 7 to 12 was like their starting point, and their corrections would usually go up to like 20 or 30. Whereas now, conditioning, my dogs start. I had a dog start as low as 2, but average about 4. That was Mars. He was a weirdo. Just kidding, I love him. They average about 4. That's my working level average. And my corrections are like 10. And then, of course, added distractions, they get higher. But those are my averages. So, random training side note, conditioning your dog isn't going to make them not care about the e-collar. It's going to help them understand it and listen to it and care about it.
Right.
You good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
And that's why, I'll go ahead and keep rambling while you're waiting. That's why I don't suggest owners just get an e-collar. I don't suggest owners just get an e-collar because unless you teach your dog what the commands mean, you're not doing anything right. So don't worry about me, Susan. If you got to do what you got to do. But I had a dog graduate last week. A family member was there at the graduation. They're like, oh my gosh, this dog, flawless. So cool. I got to get an e-collar for my dog. And I'm like, cool. But if you don't train your dog on the e-collar, you're not going to have these same results. So, just random nonsense talk.
Oh, jealous of your water. I meant to
get
get and I did not.
Do you want to go get yourself a water?
Nah, I'm good. Do you want an actual question? Since we've rambled half of the live?
Can I ask you a question? Because I talked for 22 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a hi, Kitty. So Susan, you're a pretty okay trainer, I guess.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
I
got it.
This is though I am so.
No. What?
I'm increasing my prices as though I am so.
So I got a friend who's up in Pennsylvania, and said friend wants to train with you. What does that look like? How can my friend get in touch with somebody as famous as you are? And what does that process look for somebody who says, I want my dogs to be awesome like the dogs you train?
So they want to do some program training with me? Like they want to train? So usually I revert people to my website.
What's that website?
Which is packleaderdog.com. Because it does have it listed, like my training philosophy. It has some reviews on there, all of my packages, and the prices as well. Now, if you call me, I'm not going to say, hey, go to my website. I'm not going to talk to you. I will, of course, talk to you on the phone and tell you all that information. But if you were listening right now, you can go to my website, check it all out. If you scroll to the bottom on my homepage, it has links to my social media. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube is nice because it has a DIY series on it. So all of those videos are on Facebook and Instagram as well, but it's actually in a folder. So I usually tell people to look at that because I have how-to videos on how to food lure all the commands. And so by the time I get in and I'm involved with you, now you have me for more of the e-collar work. But you could just go to my website, get in touch with me through email, call me, and then we can select the best program for you.
Nice. So a follow-up question for that question. So because you've got Mr. Francis at your house, what does that look like for the owners? So they call you, they want to do a boarding train with you, they pick which tier they want. Then what? Do they bring him to you and bring all of his toys and all of his stuff, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so usually I still offer a consult. The only time I didn't do a consult, like an in-person consult, was with Skyla. She was in Harrisburg, so she's about an hour away. I was on the phone with her for about 40 minutes to an hour, I think. And I said, did you want to do a consult, or do you want to do this? And I just talked to her like that because we had been talking for an hour. But she's like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. She had seen Beast in person. So she didn't need a consult. She didn't care about a consult. She's like, no, I want to train with you. But normally I like to do a consult just because I like to get to know the dog and the people. And then I kind of I've already met them, it's not
right.
so
daunting.
yeah, first day of school for me and the dog. Like, I kind of know the dog. I'm like, okay, you're a little bit more fearful. I kind of have a game plan for what's going to happen when you get here. So I do a free consult. So if you are interested, I will do a free consult. And then so for the first day of training, I actually go pick them up. I don't have others bring them. I pick them up because I don't want any old pictures at all of you not behaving in my house. So I go get the dog and I bring them in here. And so from day one, you get away with nothing. Now, there are things that I become more strict with, I guess. So pick my battles when I first start. But there's never going to be a time where you get away with barking, jumping, lunging, growling, like anything weird like that. So for instance, Francis, tried to do the low level with him and he was not getting it on day one. So I normally do like to wait until they have some e-collar work before I do the low level dial up, because I've found that helps. With him, I knew he had kennel issues, so I'm like, let's just low level dial him up on day one. And it was not fun for anybody. So I stopped doing that, and now he just has to behave in the kennel. So he can't bark or growl or try to get out or chew the blanket. But if he wants to stand at this point, I'm not correcting that. So that's the kind of stuff. It's like, he's not allowed to be a dingus, but there are some things that I'm not going to correct right away, and we'll fine tune it later. But that's why I go pick them up, long story short. So that it's a fresh picture when they get here, and they only know Susan's house as that.
I like that. Very smart.
And then I don't normally give them any updates. Like for a 2-week board and train, it's only 2 weeks. So they come here to my house at the week mark. And then when they graduate, I go to their house. So I tell them, I don't normally call and give updates or anything. Now, if your dog's doing something ridiculously awesome, I'll share that with you. But if it's just normal training stuff, I don't share that. But if you follow my social media, because he's a board and train, he's at my house all day, he will be plastered all over my story. And then I do my updates now. So you can watch his progress, which I think people like, the owners.
Yeah. And me, because I'm going to watch it when we get off of here.
Yeah, if you'd watch it, you might enjoy it.
Yeah. You know what? Heather didn't watch it either, so.
Yeah, she did watch it.
Well, I guess I've been replaced.
Well, you wouldn't.
I'm going to watch it after this. I've been working. I was going to watch it while I was driving to lessons today, but I figured that would be bad.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
I wanted to give it my full attention.
The first minute is just me sitting there talking. You could have, but the rest of it's like watching.
Yeah, I wanted to look at your beautiful face while you talked to me and told me about him. Ask your question, Susan.
You have a doctor's appointment coming up because something's wrong.
What?
Something's wrong with you. You going to the doctor?
I'm really tired. I think it's sleep exhaustion. I'm just losing it over here.
You ready for my question?
Yep.
My dog licks their paws a lot. Is this normal?
Normal? What's normal? Is it normal? I don't know. Has your dog done that all the time? Then it's normal. Is it good? Do you like it? Is it healthy? Probably not. So.
What if my dog licks up my other dog all the time? Is that a problem?
So, if your dog licks his paws all the time, right? So, first question is, has something changed? So, has this never happened before? Now, all of a sudden, your dog's licking his paws constantly? I'd be, a little concerned. Not like concerned, but you have allergies. Some weirdo in this crate over here next to me, she was licking her paws a lot when her tummy hurt. So is there some health reason why you're doing it? I mean, I still don't want you to do it, but be aware of that change. I don't want to just correct this behavior and that was really a symptom of something. So allergies, whatever, blah. But if they're just licking their paws as like an OCD behavior, or I'm stressed out or something like that, is it normal? No, because why are you stressed? Why are you licking your feet? That's yucky, right? And you can get hot spots and you can get gross things like that. So you could correct that. I usually will make a ch sound or something, and the dog's like, huh? And that's my correction. I'm not gonna like correct you harshly for something like that, but I'm gonna like do a disruptor, whether that be a sound, a compressed air, I don't know, maybe even a bonker, but like stop doing that. And then you can give them something else to do instead. So if they're still really struggling, you can put them in a sit. I don't know, do some situations. But yeah, is it normal? No. Well, what do you think, Susan?
Yeah, so it depends on the dog. Licking your paws can mean that your dog has allergies, or it's just an OCD behavior. So which one is it? If your dog's licking like both front paws, both back paws, doesn't care, licks all the paws, it's most likely an allergy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting to the point where it looks like it's starting to get infected? And if you don't know, go to the vet and they'll be able to tell you. But if it's just like a little bit here or there, I wouldn't worry about it, but they can start to get like infected paws from over licking. If your dog's only licking one paw and it's like the joint, depending on the dog, usually it causes a lick granuloma, and that's usually from anxiety.
It causes a what?
A lick granuloma, which is, it's just like what happens to the skin because the dog licks it so much. And it's really irritating because it doesn't heal because the dog keeps licking. Some people think that dogs lick because of pain. Maybe if your dog's older, I haven't seen that happen a lot. Possibility, but usually it's like allergies or lick granuloma, but I'm not a vet. So if your dog's licking more than normal, I would take them out and checked out.
I just Googled lick granuloma or whatever. I just Googled it. It was gross.
Yeah. They're really hard to do.
Yeah. But yeah, when in doubt, be like me and call your vet every other day because your dog's always got issues.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for, right? And if your vet's not chill with that, then find a new vet because your vets are there for you and your dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
When your dog has a bunch of random freaking symptoms, you gotta keep calling your vet.
She really kind of does. Sometimes. Like sometimes they stay really consistent, but other times she has.
I'm wondering, so, guys had her stomach issues, blah, it's been a whole thing. We think this, we think that, whatever. So inconsistent, right? For people watching. I don't know, I'm holding on to this hope because if not, I don't know what else it is. But I'm thinking maybe her stomach issues is a side effect of her Apoquel. That's our hope right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that because if that's the case, I just stop giving her Apoquel and we'll deal with her skin issues later. But like this constant, I don't want to eat, my tummy hurts, diarrhea, I don't feel good, I don't want to eat situation, I can't handle that anymore. Mm-hmm. So she ate breakfast. Yeah.
She ate breakfast?
Yeah, she ate breakfast this morning. And I haven't fed her dinner yet. I'll feed her dinner when we get off of here. But it's sad because I just wanted to be happy and healthy.
I know. Yeah, because she's recently, or like some sporadically, she'll go to her bowl and just smell it and walk away.
Yeah, and like she'll be hype about it too, which ticks me off. She sits, right? She'll auto sit for her meal. She'll sit, which she doesn't on like the other side of the room, but she's always done that. Sit, kind of like wiggle a little bit, gets kind of excited. I put the food down, break, runs over to it, looks at it, walks away. I'm like, jerk. I know you're hungry. But I guess she knows her tummy hurts and she knows she doesn't want to eat. But yeah, that's my dog. She's special. She's in her kennel right now, but she's actually not in the kennel command. Super cute. For what? She was in there and I told her break and the kennel is up on a table. And my hallway is blocked off with this weird like wooden board thing. So she can't see into the hallway on the ground. Well, what she realized today was in her kennel, since it's on the table, she can see over the gate into the hallway. So I told her break and I went to go leave my room, closed the gate, and she hadn't fully gotten out of her kennel yet. So now she's just standing in her kennel and she was like, I can see over there. And I guess she just likes the view because she stayed in there.
Aww.
So I thought that was cute. I hope she starts like putting herself in there. That'd be really cute.
Yeah. You ready?
Sure.
My dog will randomly chew his bed in his kennel, maybe once every other month. He is e-collar trained on all the basic commands, and we have come a long way. What should I do for his bed chewing?
That's a rough one because when it's so sporadic like that, it's not like a consistent issue. A few things pop up in my head. My first question is, so many things. First, have you ever corrected it? So he's e-collar trained. Have you ever corrected, mouth goes on blanket, pillow, bed, whatever, correct?
I don't think so. I don't think they've been able to catch it.
Okay. Oh yeah, because if you can't even catch it. So then my next thing would be, okay, so he knows all the commands, but what's his life look like? Is he still a free-for-all, but he knows his commands, or does he have rules, boundaries, and structure? Do you know?
I think half and half.
Okay. So you could try just giving him more structure. But honestly, and I'm going to be real, I would probably just dip the blanket or the bed or whatever it is that he's chewing because it's so sporadic. And my fear from my days in the kennel is that a dog is going to be a dingus and eat it and then need surgery because you just ate a dog bed and now you have to have surgery and that's gross and expensive. So I would just take it away. But we don't want our dogs like laying uncomfortably, so it's hard. Okay, hang on. Let me think if I've ever got anything else because I want to hear what your solution is. We could take away the bed. We could add more rules, boundary, and structure. You could evaluate yourself. Do some reflecting. What are there any patterns you can catch on to when he does it? Is it when he's been in the kennel for 12 hours or when he didn't get a walk that day? If you can catch when he's doing it, like if you can find any pattern, do that pattern, set him up with a nanny cam, and be prepared to correct him. Because the odds are, if he's doing it so rarely, if you get a good correction in, it's going to stop because he doesn't care about doing it that much. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it was just that I'm going to do this every single day of my life thing, it's going to be harder to stop. But this is hard to stop because you can't catch it.
Yeah.
What do you think? That's a tough one.
So with this owner, they've decided to just monitor it for now. Because I said, do you want me to come up with a game plan for you? But they're just going to monitor it. But my game plan would be to fully describe, like, hey, what's the day look like? Is there anywhere where you are kind of loosey-goosey and the dog has more freedom than maybe they should have earned? Then we get more strict. They think they know what triggers it. When they get like a package delivered or something, like that throws him off. Whereas if nobody comes to the house, it's all nice and quiet.
Wow.
So you could always set that up.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, do a day that you're off, leave, be gone for an hour, and then pretend like you're the person dropping the package off, and then watch him through the nanny cam. If you're chewing your blanket, no, that sucks. But
it's good that they think they know what triggers it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't last here because he would be chewing blankets every day with the packages we get. Now let me stop.
That made me think of Ava. Made me think of Ava.
Oh my gosh. At first I was wondering if that's who you were talking about, but I'm like, I don't remember seeing blankets in her kennel. And I don't remember kennel issues being a problem at all. She very loud when somebody was at the door. I was gonna say something, but I can't remember. But yeah, just monitoring it and adding that structure throughout the day is gonna be good. Anyways,
Yeah. I mean, because they're doing most of the things, and he's already fully trained. So
right. Do I know this dog?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And your company, if she wants to chime in, she's more than welcome to. But don't feel like you have to if you don't want to. So for owners who have or plan on getting 2 dogs, what's training look like that for that? Should they be training the dogs together? Should they train one dog, then train the other dog? If they're going to be doing a one-on-one thing, is it going to be easier because they can train the dogs together? I'm just setting you up here to talk about what I want you to talk about. So tell me all the things about what goes into having siblings and training.
Well, no, I first thought, I chuckled because I get all of the double dogs.
You really do. And as I'm saying this, I'm saying it because your amazing client is sitting right next to you who has 2 dogs. But as I'm saying this, I'm envisioning all of your double dogs that you have
Yeah.
Like the shepherds I went with you to, you get all the doubles.
I do.
So who better to answer this than you and Heather if she wants to?
Yeah. So usually I have the owners have to work each dog independently, and then once they're set up to be on distractions, now you can work them together. I've gone to people's houses that, well, I went for one dog, but they had two dogs, and the dogs will be off leash, and it'll be a training lesson, and I'm trying to train the one dog, and the other dog's there, and I'm like, this isn't working. You can't train both of them at the same time, because when you're saying good for the one, the other one might not be laying down. It's just a mess. So you have to train one at a time. Usually one's in the kennel, we work the one, then you flip-flop them. Other one's in the kennel, and we work this one. Then once they can do duration, you can have one doing place duration, and now your second dog is a distraction, right? So your second dog's over here working, can the first dog hold their place, and then you flip-flop them. So one's doing duration, one's doing, speed drills or whatever, and then you flip-flop them. But usually we say, and by we, I mean me and Rachel, is 2 dogs is 3 times the work, because, dear God, you have to work them separately and then together, and it's just a lot. So I've had people, now for one-on-ones, you do get a discount. If you have 2 dogs, I'm not going to charge you like 2 single sessions together. But if you have 2 dogs and you're doing a board and train, you do not get a discount, because it is not easier.
3 times the work.
It's not easier. It's
Right.
harder. So yeah, like I always say, God bless the people with multiple dogs, especially the people that get puppies at the same time.
And do great work with them.
Yeah, because having 2 puppies, I want to shoot my brains out with 1 puppy. So God bless you.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna go through a pee pee poo poo stage, it might as well be get it all out the way at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you gotta go out every 3 hours anyways. Might as well leash up 2 dogs and take them out.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Can I say? Sure.
Hi.
It was helpful to have the 2 of them like undergoing it at the same time for me, but not like at the same time together. Like in my house, like Howie was a jerk and like for whatever reason knew that Susan was providing structure and like didn't want to work, but Penny would work for like anything. So like she would be working Penny and kind of show me what she needed, and then I would work Howie, and it gave him like a chance to break. But it's a ton of work training too. Like when I asked Susan how often I should be training, she's like, oh, 20 minutes twice a day. And in my head, I'm like, well, crap, that's like actually 40 minutes twice a day. You know what I mean? Like, it adds up time, but it was nice because once one would pick it up and they would see that I was rewarding that, then the other one would kind of pick it up.
Oh, wow.
But then
That's
also
awesome.
bad behavior, then they would like follow the bad behavior. So it's like a double-edged sword.
Right. That's cool. And I'm glad that you said that, because my next question was going to be, and this is, I guess, more of a personal preference question, but, say I've got an owner who has 2 dogs and they want to train both their dogs. I have my preference, but what do y'all think? Should they train them both at the same time, put in that extra money, either do the one-on-ones or board and trains at the same time? Or should they, I'm going to train dog A, and after dog A graduates, then I'm going to train dog B?
For me, I wanted to get it all done at one time, like both have them working in the same thing. And I mean, Penny progressed faster than Howie did. So like the progression was different, like we were saying with training your dogs, but it was nice to like have the rules, and the rules were the same for both, and not like, oh, Penny here and she would come running, but like Howie didn't even know what I was talking about and didn't even try. So
Right.
that was my thing, is get them both done over with. It was like extra work for the period of time that we were actually training them, and then I got to enjoy it all at the same time.
Right, I agree. What do you think, Susan?
I think for one-on-ones, doing them at the same time would be a good idea. Board and train, I could go either way. It depends on the lifestyle. Like I did have somebody with 2 dogs that they talked about board and train, and I wanted to talk to him. It was Diesel and Pepper. They ended up doing one-on-ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he was talking about doing board and trains and whether I would do them together. Now with their issues, I didn't know if I'd do them together, but it depends on your lifestyle. So is it going to be easier for the owner? I almost said for the human. Is it going to be easier for the owner to get both dogs back and have to learn all of the commands? Because during a board and train, of course they're trained up really nice, but there's going to be a learning curve for the owner getting the dog back. You're going to be kind of fumbly bumbly learning what the dog already knows. So do you want to do that with 2 dogs, or do you want to do that with 1 dog while now I train your second one? So now by the time you get your second dog back, you'll know. You'll be like, oh boy, I got this. So it really depends on the owner.
I really like that because this was actually just like a fun question for like personal preference. Because yeah, 101s I would do them both because exactly like Heather said, why would I want to train dog A and be really strict with you and have all these rules and boundaries and structure, and then dog B is just doing whatever they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I wasn't even thinking for boarding train like that. The dog's not going to be in the house, so that dog A is not coming home fully trained, and dog B is acting like a fool. Like some people do that, and I'm like, still, maybe they don't want to train the second dog. But if the plan is to train them both, that would be really cool. Dog A go home, dog B immediately leave with you. That gives owners time to do all this. That's really smart. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking for my course, I would recommend it at the same time because with me, owners keep doing whatever they're doing anyways. They just don't say these specific commands. Waiting game, 6 weeks. Yeah, you still got to do both of them. But I don't know. I've had people do it both ways. But I'm just like, get them both trained because then you can hold them both accountable. Because if you don't get them both trained at the same time, dog A is on place and dog B is running around acting like a maniac. But that was just good for funsies. But what I actually always tell people is when you get your first dog, train it before you get your second dog.
Oh, yes.
I know it doesn't count if you get them at the same time.
Yeah.
But
don't get a second dog to fix first dog's problems because second dogs will get first dog's problems most of the time.
And then, excuse me, then it'll come along with its own issues too.
Yes.
It's setting in a whole new set of issues. But yeah, I agree with that. That was a fun talk. You got anything? That was all I had.
I do have one more question, but do you want to end it early? I think my dog has to poop.
Okay, we will end it. But cool. So thank you everybody for watching. I think this has been like one of our funnest Q&As we've had in a long time. Because you were really mean to me and picked on me in the beginning. But thanks for watching. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Pack Leader Dog Training. Nope. Every time, Susan. At Pack Leader Dog and Rachel Kohler Dog Training. See y'all next week and happy training.